Good morning. I got a N14 in here, and I just wanted to clear a few things up on these older N14s. This one's a Select, but it doesn't matter if it's a Select Plus, or the older STC, which is short for step timing control. Cummins used that on some of the earlier N14s. If you get one in, now this is a perfect example of always check and make sure everything's right. I got this truck in. This is a good customer of mine, and they wanted the overhead set on it. And I've done several of these engines, pretty familiar with them. And so on these N14s, you set them on outer base circle. Doesn't matter if it's an STC, Select Plus, you always set them on outer base circle, and that's according to the manual. An outer base circle means you set the injector and the valve at the same time. That is not TDC. Do not get that confused with TDC. Cummins does not set on TDC. The piston is not on TDC when you set the injectors and valves. It can't be. When you're on A, you set injector and valve 1, so on and so forth, as far as the firing order goes. The way I remember the firing order on a inline 6-cylinder diesel engine, it doesn't matter if it's Cat, Cummins, Detroit, PACCAR, whatever. It's 1, 5, 3, 6, 2, 4. Too young, too old, just right. And you'll never forget that. And anyway, the thing that's going on with this truck is somebody's been in here before me, another shop, and they've resealed this accessory drive, and when they put it back together, they did not time it. And that's a problem because you cannot set the overhead. You can set the valves if you're familiar with inline 6-cylinder engines, but you cannot set the injector on these Cummins. You will fuck it up. These injectors set when they're firing, so you're going to take it all the way down until it stops and back it out 2 flats on these N14s. And the STCs set at 125 inch-pounds. So when the injector's rocking or getting ready to fire, you're setting the bottom clearance. And that'd be on the outer base circle, meaning that the highest possible point that camshaft will go. Anyway, when I went to set the overhead, I was on A and number 1, and both the valves were loose, but the injector wasn't firing. And so, and that's the other thing too. I know some guys will loosen everything up before they set the overhead. Don't do that, because if I would have done that, I would have been fucked. And these guys need this truck back. They're going to bring it back to me when they get more time, and I will fix it. I will fix that other shop's screw up, it's just kind of one of those things where you just need to pay attention to what you're doing, We all make mistakes, and but this accessory drive has to be timed. If it's not, you will not be able to set the overhead. And so, how you time it with the cover on it, you got to pull this pulley off. There's a pipe plug in there. You pull that pipe plug out, and this is gear driven. So in order to fix this, I got to take all this shit off and redo it, and so the customer has to pay for it again. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is, and as soon as I saw that the injector wasn't firing, I loosened it up and tried to bottom it out, and it was way off, and then I just set it the best I could, with as close as I could to all the other ones, and that's just kind of how that works. Now on the Jake brakes, the other thing you can look at too, if you're on A and you're on number 1, the valves on number 5 should be loose because it's the next in the firing order. It should be getting ready to fire. and that was not happening on this engine at all. So, and I'll kind of show you the procedure for setting the Jake brakes as well. And I'm going to do another video on how to time that accessory drive and the overhead and all that stuff, because there's a lot of information out there, and some of it's confusing and some of it's just wrong, you know. And don't get on a forum. Don't, you know, if you need help, ask somebody or get a book. You know, they're not that expensive. You know, this stuff isn't really something to just be guessing about, you know. I mean, you just want to make sure you're doing stuff right. But on the on the engine brake, they're wanting you to set it when you're on A, you set brake 5, and then so on and so forth. So like I said, it doesn't matter if it's an N14 Select Plus or STC. You always set it on outer base circle. Don't be doing that inner base circle. Cummins started off with that, and it's a mess and it's confusing, you know. Cummins it's pretty straightforward, guys. You just do start at A and then go through the firing order, you know, and it's pretty simple. So, and then I always make a little cheat sheet when I do overheads, and I got a bunch of them for all different kinds of engines, and I just write it down, stick it under the windshield wiper, and go to town. So yeah, I just wanted to put this out there. There's a few other videos online. There's another guy that has some pretty good knowledge of these N14s, and he made a pretty good video. And but I got a great example here in my shop, and I just wanted to kind of talk about it, you know, that you always trust the technical information, and you know, people make mistakes, unfortunately, and that's just the way it is, you know. I mean, we all make mistakes, but you always want to check that stuff before you go start setting the overhead. If I was to set the overhead with the way this pulley is, that would not be good. So anyway, I just want to make this video, and I hope it helps someone. And if you have any questions, just reach out, send me an email, and I'll do the best I can to help you. Have a good day.